True and international effort to pressure. True and international effort to pressure.
Okay.
Well, at least things are going to be very interesting for the next few years. Now, to be honest, I was going to start off the intro clip from this Dave Chappelle comedy skit where he said that poor naive white people believed that Donald Trump was going to fight for them in the White House, and then Dave Chappelle declaring, "You dumb mother truckers, you are poor, he's going to fight for me," and that's exactly true, but Netflix would probably bring down this video if I played that clip. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. This is Luke Radowski of WeAreChange.org, and yes, crazy as it is to think, Joe Biden has been officially inaugurated as President of the United States. Even though there was a lot of absolute nonsense out there that this would, quote, never happen, a lot of this lunacy was out there to a point where I even couldn't criticize it. And still to this day, I can't mention the larger movement associated with a word in the alphabet that I, for a very long time, was calling as a disinformation propaganda psyop that was wrongfully manipulating people. YouTube banned channels, deleted videos, even with people criticizing this larger movement, which still to this day believes that they were correct, that Donald Trump will somehow become president tomorrow, while other people pushing these discredited theories are telling you that Biden being president was all a part of the plan all along. Now, I'm sorry if you or if someone you know was personally duped by this, but again, YouTube made it so difficult to even address a lot of these rumors, even with people asking for evidence, that a lot of this stuff sadly was perpetrated and even legitimized by some of the censorship. And now let's be abundantly clear as we're going to go over this in this video, as well as the next 100-day mission and masking promoted by the Joe Biden administration. But before we get into that, we have to pay the bills here because of YouTube's larger inconsistencies, not only screwing us in the algorithm, but also specifically demonetizing us for trying to get some actual logic and evidence into the conversation, which through their policies is a very bad thing. That's why we started to work with companies like Safe, Prepared, and Ready.com. The link to, of course, is in the description below. I personally use this product. I like them a lot. And whether if it's for a 2-week or 4-week emergency food supply that lasts you 25 years, you're guaranteed customer service that guarantees a 25-year shelf life. It is grown and packed inside of the United States, not of course in China, where of course there are a lot of horror stories when it comes to food processing. So yes, you pay a little bit of a premium here comparatively to just having a rice and beans, but I prefer it. I like it. I think you will too. Check out and click the link down below. And they, of course, have free shipping over $99 and will get you the product in 7 to 10 days. Now, I think it's very fair to say that Donald Trump has essentially lost the support of almost everyone who previously supported him in the past. And let's be honest here, a lot of people believed what they personally wanted to believe that wasn't based off any actual evidence, and for the last 4 years, I remember even being accused of having Trump derangement syndrome, being compared to CNN because I didn't believe in the Trump master plan that essentially failed to produce many of his very important campaign promises that were just thrown away. This is exactly exemplified by his latest pardon list that, of course, didn't pardon Julian Assange, didn't pardon Edward Snowden, Ross Ulbricht, reality winners, not even Joe Exotic, for frick's sakes. We'll get into some of the more egregious pardons in just a little bit, but the news that broke in the middle of last night has left commentators like Glenn Greenwald saying, quote, Trump left the White House about as weak, cocked, and submissive as it's possible for a grown adult to scramble away. U.S. Congressman Thomas Macy said the president went 0 for 3 in his final round with the swamp. And let's be honest here, with not pardoning Julian Assange, with not listening to his entire base of supporters, he has essentially put the final nails in the coffin of Julian Assange. Now, if you remember, just a few days ago, just weeks ago, we told you that Donald Trump most likely was not going to pardon Julian Assange. We saw the writing on the walls. It was kind of evident. Donald Trump was the one that put Julian Assange in jail in the first place, but now he has codified his faith and has guaranteed the fact that Julian Assange will most likely die behind bars, which is a horrible faith for a man, again, that is not an American citizen, that's being charged by the United States, essentially for the crimes of publishing information for the benefit of the general public. His organization, WikiLeaks, essentially did what many mainstream media organizations do, but he did it in a more effective anti-establishment way. And the fact that he was personally lobbied, there was a huge majority base of his supporters that demanded this, and he decided to pardon Steve Bannon, who's accused of defrauding his own supporters, pardoning Israeli spies that were indicted for espionage. So let me get this straight. Israeli espionage is great, but if someone does it for the benefit of the people to know what their government is doing, that is bad. That person, whether he is an American citizen or not, deserves to rot in jail for the rest of his life. I'm sorry, individuals like Steve Bannon, Avim Shelley, the man who recruited spies to collect U.S. military secrets for Israel, which the Israeli government shared with the Chinese government, pardoning war criminals that was even described by other soldiers as freaking evil, and individuals like Kodak Black is a slap in the face to everyone with any form of rational thinking and intelligence. Kodak Black, a rapper that literally depicted Trump supporters as Klan members as he strangled in a music video a Trump supporter with a Make America Great Again hat, is rewarded with clemency, is rewarded with a pardon. Lil Wayne got a pardon. Now, whatever you may think of these individuals, whatever crimes they committed or didn't commit, it doesn't matter, because largely symbolically, this is adding insult to injury to a lot of the people that were essentially taken advantage here. Also, leaving office, another thing Donald Trump did was, of course, revoking an executive order that banned his administration officials from becoming lobbyists, because, you know, nothing says Make America Great Again like giving lobbyists more power and access to our politicians. And his declassification of documents were absolutely pathetic. As even Mike Cernovich says, quote, "Today, Trump released declassified documents that were redacted to the point of being useless. He agreed to every FBI classification request. His pardon list is a betrayal. He's a weak man, petty and weak. I'm glad he's gone." And by and large, that's the sentiment that, of course, many Trump supporters have. And if you remember, to the beginning of Trump's presidency, even before he was officially inaugurated, I made a specific video in Goa, India, addressing specifically Donald Trump, sitting down with Henry Kissinger, singing his praises, saying, watch out, things are not going to be as you expect them to be. Politicians lie, manipulate, and abuse their constituents, and maybe, hopefully, a lot more people are going to realize that today than, of course, yesterday. And now it's also time to deal with the reality of the new presidency, the Biden presidency, which, of course, the mainstream media is chomping at the bits to glorify, worship, and promote, with headlines like this from the New York Times saying that today's inauguration will be, quote, a moment of political triumph that has been decades in the making. And again, we have the glorification of the state with unquestionable loyalty by, of course, the mainstream media that will gladly go on their knees and suckle for a little bit of that power and authority. But not to be outdone, the media needed, of course, one more last dose of that Trump crack, of the actual Trump derangement syndrome, as we saw this morning by many sensational news organizations talking about the nuclear football fiasco, as Donald Trump decided to fly back with the, quote, nuclear football, the nuclear codes, with him to Florida, promoting, of course, conspiracy theories on the left, on the right, ridiculousness, delusion, and, of course, the nuclear football was as supposed to be given to a man that many times doesn't know where he is. So, yeah, that happened, and that's, you know, going to be a very interesting 4 years, as many people on the control of algorithms and timelines are being promoted that are celebrating that now, finally, things are going to be fixed this time from career politicians that literally have been in power for nearly 40 years. But now, with massive power in the Senate, in the Congress, in the executive office, the special interest along with Joe Biden are taking along their agenda that is being deemed 100 days of masks. Already Joe Biden's virtual signaling about immigration has started a mass caravan of migrants trying to get over to the United States within the next 100 days. This, of course, all during a pandemic, but the mainstream media will, of course, not remind you of that at all because it's an inconvenient fact against their narrative. There, of course, will be a new massive immigration package that will help create mainly new Democratic voters. A lot of the executive orders will reverse, of course, Trump's executive orders. There will also be a mandate that masks should be worn by all federal employees on federal property and also, of course, by visitors. Trump's travel bans are going to be reversed, and the heavily lobbyist-filled special interest administration of the Biden administration will definitely be able to have their way and carve out what piece of America or personal freedoms that they want to take away from you, as of course mainly their power is going to be going unchecked. All of course while promising unity, which is absolutely hilarious since of course many Democrats are talking about revenge against Donald Trump and his supporters, which he is doing absolutely nothing for. All of this while, of course, there will be efforts to disarm individuals, as politicians will be the only individuals allowed to be protected. So yeah, maybe hopefully some people are waking up to the lunacy that's unfolding right now. I mean, I think it's pretty clear that now we have two clear demographics of individuals, those who want to be controlled and those who want to be free. I think you know which side I am on when it comes to the next 100 days of absolute craziness and lobbyist and special interest gaining control of this country. I, of course, will be breaking it down, all of this on this independent media organization that still somehow miraculously only exists because of you actually clicking and sharing these videos with your friends and family members. Another thing that I would strongly more than ever recommend to do is to sign up on our email list on wearechange.org. The link is in the description and comment section below, and clicking here and signing up on our email list. It is more imperative than ever that we do not have a middleman standing in the way between me and you being able to freely communicate. There's a lot of intrusion, there's a lot of censorship, there's a lot of hooey and malarkey literally going on right now, trying to make sure that you can't get accurate information. This is what we're always going to be fighting for: evidence-based reality, not delusion, conspiracy theories that are usually promoted by the establishment in one way, shape, form, or another. That's my personal take on it. I love you guys. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. Stay tuned for more here on wearechange.org.